Friday, everybody. And I wanted to just pop in really quickly to talk a little bit about the fact that for so many of us, our diets have gone off track a little bit now during COVID-19. And I don't know about you, but for me, as somebody who's on a restricted diet, this has happened because I haven't gone to the stores. I've actually not gone to the store at all since this all began. And I have been ordering everything online, and I can get mostly what I need. There's a health food store that sends, healthy foods, but I haven't been able to get everything I need. And that has caused some changes in my diet. So, hi, everybody. I'm Ricki Heller from rickiheller.com, and I help people who are on restricted diets stick with it for life so they can still love their food, continue to heal their bodies, and live the lives they were meant to live. So, for me, what has happened is I have not veered from my anti candida diet since I began, which would have been almost 20 years ago. But now I've been ordering certain things just because I can't get every single thing I want. And I find I'm eating foods that would have normally been just a once in a while thing. I've been eating them a little bit more. So I'm talking about things like tortilla chips, or I'm at the stage with candida anyway, where I can eat olives in, like regular green olives instead of olives that have been packed in oil, that kind of stuff. But over time, I have noticed it has had an impact on me. And so, if you're finding that you've fallen off track, I want to just talk a little bit today about three things to consider to get you back on track. And I'm going to be doing a very comprehensive article about this on my site, rickiheller.com. But I just wanted to get the ideas out there for you for the weekend as we move into warmer weather and there's all this more food around and people are going to be eating stuff that they don't normally eat, and how you can look at this to give you a little more insight into what you can do around getting back on track. So, the most obvious thing I think for most people is the food, right? We notice when we're not eating what we would normally eat. And when I work with clients one on one, there tend to be two really main areas of focus. One is the food, and people often want to know, like, what can they eat? What is the correct food? Is it okay to have sweet potatoes? Is it okay to have a gluten-free pasta or whatever? And the other thing that tends to really command our attention are our symptoms, right? So if you're someone like me who has had candida or is dealing with candida right now, or any kind of condition that requires you to change your diet, you tend to be focused on the symptoms because those are the things that are like right in your face or right on your body or in your gut. You feel them more than other things, right? And so, oh, hey, Anne, nice to see you. And so that's sort of what's been happening with me. I haven't even thought about my symptoms in so long because I haven't had really any symptoms to speak of for so long. But now that I've been eating a little bit off track, I have noticed certain things. I feel a little heavier. I feel a little more sluggish. It's a little bit harder to wake up in the morning and get out of bed. And I don't know if that's because it's been so hot or whatever. But my first thought, of course, is when you feel it physically, that's really going to command your attention, right? So it's interesting to me that those are the two things that I often hear of when I talk to people first. They want something to deal with their symptoms, of course, because those are the things that are, like I said, in your face. And they want to know about the food because we have this belief, I think, that if only we find the exact right food, that is going to be our salvation. And that is going to get rid of all the problem. But I want to mention the third factor that I think is actually even more important than the other two. And that is your thoughts, your emotions, your mood around your situation. So I see this as a three-part cycle. And if you're trying to stay on track, you can actually interrupt the cycle at any point. So I'll just take my situation now where everything was going along fine. I was feeling great. I changed the food. I started eating foods that were off track for me. That affected my physical symptoms, which of course I noticed. And then that affects my mood and my psychology. So, how to get on track? I think for most people, the easiest thing is to realign the food. So if you start eating the foods that are best for your body, that's going to affect you physically. And you're going to find that you feel better physically. And so, of course, that's going to impact how you feel. But you can also interrupt that cycle your symptoms and that affects your mood. You can start with the mindset and the mood, and that's going to affect everything else. And what I have found for long term success for people is they need to get that third factor involved. They need to change the way they think about their diet and the fact that this is something they're going to need to do for life. And they need to feel differently about that. Because if you see this as just a temporary fix, or I am going to be eating this way until I feel better and then I can go back to the way I was before, that is not going to help you have long term permanent success. And that's just the reality of it. If you need to be on a restricted diet for health reasons, the best thing you can do is change your mindset around how you feel about that and what you think about that fact so that you can go on and live the rest of your life sticking to that diet. And so when I work with clients, that is the thing that we tend to focus on the most. And of course, those other two factors are there too. So as we go off into the weekend and we're starting to see all these different foods for summer and things are opening up and people want to go and have social gatherings and, share food with other people, I want you to just think about that. You can certainly start with the food. And as you know, I mean, there's lots of recipes for healthy foods all over the place. I have something like 850 recipes on my blog. But for long-term success, it's really the thing that needs to change the most has to happen in here. So I hope that's helpful. And if you are interested in looking more deeply into that, I would love to chat more with you. If this is something that you're wanting to do for your own health, for your own future, and look at how you can change the way you eat permanently, please leave a comment or DM me, and I'll definitely get in touch and we can talk more about how we might work together. So let's see. Anne is saying, Ricki, what would you eat in a day if you don't mind sharing? I totally don't mind sharing. Now, I know from your question that you do not follow me on Instagram because on Instagram, I post every day what I eat. I'm constantly posting my food. So this morning for breakfast, oh my gosh, do I already forget? I tend to have pancakes a lot. I didn't have pancakes this morning. I had a yummy porridge this morning made from cauliflower and oat bran. I decided to try mixing those two together. Totally not consistent with the weather for some reason, but it worked. Then for lunch, I had a salad and I had like a kale and beet salad and a bean salad, which were both just leftovers. Tonight, because it's Friday and we tend to have a little treat for ourselves on Friday night, I am making a pizza with a grain-free pizza crust that I make myself. And we're going to top it with a homemade tomato-based pizza sauce and some olives and some artichoke hearts and some jalapeno pepper and some onion. I think that's it. And really with the pizza, and also we do nachos once a week. I'm going to say once every 2 weeks, actually, more likely. And because I'm talking about getting off track, nachos are one of the things I'm going to talk about in my article. I've been eating corn chips for my nachos. And while I can have corn and I'm totally fine with it maybe once a month, which is what we used to do during regular times, with COVID, because it's so much easier to get non-perishable food, we've been having it once a week. And so we're going to be changing that. But normally, if I had nachos on a Friday, I would have almost the same toppings on them. Actually, I do a faux meat that there's a recipe on my site for faux ground beef, which is made out of ground cauliflower and walnuts and spices, and you bake it, and it looks and tastes, in my mind, just like ground beef. So that's the kind of thing. I tend to eat a lot of salads, particularly now that it's summer. But I would say, like, I rotate certain breakfasts. I might have a smoothie, I might have pancakes, I might have waffles. I might do a bean fry up where I do beans, and it always starts with onions and garlic, and then I do beans and spices and maybe some chopped up fresh vegetables. I like a savory breakfast every now and again. And the thing about this kind of eating is, you know, your lunch and dinner can be your breakfast. So I don't think, I mean, I'm a pancakes person. I love pancakes for breakfast, but I don't generally think of lunch and dinner as only for lunch and dinner. I often will eat leftovers of lunch or dinner for breakfast. So I hope that helps. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm at rickyheller.com. Particularly my Instagram stories, which are the ones that last for 24 hours. If you go to my profile and you see my face with a pink circle around it and you click on that, it'll show you my videos each day. And those are really every day I show what I eat. So I hope that helps. Okay. Oh, Georgina says off track, and you have just described all of the physical symptoms that I am living. DM me, Georgina, because I'd love to talk to you and see what we can do. This is exactly what I'm talking about, and this is exactly what I'm working on with people right now. So let's chat and see if we can get you back on track, because I know you can for sure, given everything you've been through. And I know how much better you're going to feel when you feel physically better. Totally doable. We can do it together. All right. Any other questions? I'm just going to refresh the page because I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. And before I head out for the weekend, I'm just going to quickly see if there are any questions. And thank you for watching, those of you who've come live with me. Okay, I don't see any more. So if if you have a question based on something I've said, it comes up and you're watching this later, please leave a comment below, because I always come back and read them and try to answer every single one. And as I said, okay, great, Georgina. As I said, I am actually looking for 3 people to work around this topic. So if this is something that you think you'd be interested in doing, and you're really serious about making changes that are going to set you up for the rest of your life to have success with your special diet and your health, I do want to hear from you. Please send me a DM and we will talk. And says I need to come live with you. Been ill for, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and I think mindset. It's amazing how much our thoughts affect the way we feel and can affect our physical well-being. It is so important to get all of that on track together. And you deserve it. You deserve to be the healthiest you can be for the rest of your life. And that is what I want to see for you, because I know from my own experience that there is such a massive difference between just living day to day feeling ill and feeling the best you can feel. And everything in your life changes when that happens. So I would love to hear from you if that's something that people are serious about changing, and we'll see how we can work on that together. All right, everybody, I think that's it for the comments. So I am going to go back to Zoom. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and eat some healthy foods, and I will see you guys next time.